Good morning, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. It's Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, and that translates into a steady dose of no BS job search advice. This is a time where I'd like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about some element of job hunting, because to me, job search doesn't have to be hard, difficult, painful, or really take that long. It's just the skills needed to find a job are different than the skills needed to do a job. And that's where this show and my other one, which is called Job Search Radio, comes in handy, because each of them is designed to give you information that will get you working more quickly. Because if you just operate under the idea that you can do the job, that's not really going to be enough. You need to know how to interview. You need to know how to brand and market yourself. You need to know how to negotiate salary. There's a variety of skills and experiences that you don't have, or that are kind of mediocre in your tool belt, that this show, my videos that are on YouTube, almost 800 of them now, my articles, my e-zines, all the content I create is designed to help you with. Now, today's show has two sponsors. The first one is Audible. And if you go to audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter, what you'll be able to do is sign up for a free trial of Audible books and download an individual book, audio book, for free. And I know you like audiobooks because, frankly, you listen to my podcast, right? My second sponsor is consultingassignments.com. Consultingassignments.com is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm, and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you want to feature a job or a resume. It is a whopping $10 for 30 days. And if you're going to feature more than one position, the price goes down to as little as $2 for 45 days. So again, that site is consultingassignments.com. Now, I thought today I would talk with you about overcoming the fear of interviewing. And as someone who's been in recruiting for as long as I have, it's a pretty common situation to find job applicants in a position where, they're coming in for an interview. If it's summer or warm weather in general, they've got the sweaty palms. They could have dry mouth. You can just see their apprehension about the process. They just can't speak freely. They've got nervousness. It's a lot of different signals that start to show up that cause people to be afraid. And, when all is said and done, a lot of that fear comes from fear of the unknown. And, that could just simply be that you just don't know what's going to happen on the interview. You think it's important. You create brain freeze or brain cramp for yourself that causes you to not be able to communicate freely. And when all is said and done, I've found that, when someone has a fear of the unknown, often the simplest way to help them overcome that is to help it become known. So the idea becomes that you learn how to interview well. You practice repeatedly with a friend, friends, a partner, a wife or a husband, so that the familiar questions that occur on the interview, you can anticipate, you're well practiced for how to answer them. It's not new to you. Now, the other side of that coin with rehearsing is being overly rehearsed. So you never want to sound as though, hi, I'm a radio personality. You never want to sound as though these are rehearsed answers. You always want to make them seem as though you're giving them a new, fresh answer for each question, so that in this way you're prepared, but you don't sound like you've been on 47 interviews. So, I always encourage people, to start off with, if you're afraid of the unknown, learn what you need to learn in order for it to become known to you. If you're someone who has prepared, but you get brain cramps, well, that happens from time to time. Lord knows, we had Governor Perry in, the run-up to the last, presidential election, who had a brain cramp during a primary. Very embarrassing for him to go, oops, when he couldn't answer a question. Another reason people often become, paralyzed on interviews is, they become afraid of the rejection, which creates the causes and conditions for them to be rejected, interestingly enough. No one likes being rejected, but, no one, when they date, falls in love and has people fall in love with them every time. When all is said and done, you just need one. Hopefully it's this one. So, just recognizing that not everyone is going to be turned on to your qualifications, just get over that part of it. So here's a couple of things that you can do beforehand that will help you overcome these fears. So the first one is, do certain things to help calm yourself. Now, I'm not just talking about on the day of the interview, but a few days before, if it's been scheduled a few days in advance. So what you want to be doing is, I'm a believer in meditation. If you don't believe in meditation, you can do breathing exercises. So in doing a breathing exercise, all you're doing is, taking a breath in through your nose and releasing it slowly and quietly through your mouth. So if you happen to be watching me now or watching this as a YouTube video, all you need to do is go. A number of times, and practice doing that before the interview. So these sorts of breaths help you continue to take in oxygen during your interview. I'm someone, for example, who used to have back pain. And as I learned more about back pain, I learned that one of the things that happens is when someone becomes frightened, what they start to do is to breathe more shallowly. It creates oxygen deprivation in their body. And it's the oxygen deprivation that causes your back, because it's not getting enough oxygen, to generate pain. So what you want to be doing for a few days before, and maybe this is something you develop as a technique from the time you decide to interview, that you decide to change jobs, even before you've gotten an interview request. While you're starting to send out resumes and you're starting to get that feeling of excitement, you do. Not just once, but do multiple times. Exercise, do yoga, do things. I'm a runner, for example. And as a runner, what I find is when I'm running regularly, I'm a lot more balanced and even-keeled than when I'm doing it sporadically. So get out there and do some exercise so that it helps you with your balance. Again, continuing on, a couple of other things is rehearsing. Like I said before, rehearsing how to interview, working with someone is an enormous way to allow yourself to interview well. It is that lack of preparation where you don't know what you're going to say to pretty standardized questions like, tell me about yourself and what you've been doing professionally. Now, if you go to my YouTube channel, which is the Big Game Hunter TV, and watch my videos about that, it just will serve you well to watch them And again, they're called tough interview questions. So you can watch my YouTube videos. They have the answers to standard questions like tell me about yourself. I've got a typical one as well as an advanced one. I've got answers to some of these behavioral psychology questions. I've got answers to some of the hedge fund brain teaser questions that show up from time to time. So watch some of the videos and practice delivering the answers so that this way nothing catches you by surprise. Another thing, as I mentioned earlier, is so you're afraid of rejection. Well, yes, everyone's going to be rejected in all probability at some point, but it's kind of like The Godfather. It's business, not personal. They're not rejecting you. They're not turning down you. And what they are doing is looking at your qualifications and saying, we need someone different than this with a different skill set. When all is said and done, someone you're competing with may be someone who has qualifications that are better than yours, who's willing to work for less. So, ultimately, they're a better match for the firm. You may not have the chemistry between you and your future boss. There's a variety of reasons you may get turned down, but like they say in The Godfather, it's business, it's not personal. So don't take it personally. A final thing, and this is something that I as a recruiter have joked about for many years with other recruiters. We get so close so often. Someone gets turned down, or you help someone find a job and you've earned a commission. Whichever one it is, the response I've given for years is next, because whether it's the turn down or the person who's hired, we have to move on to the next thing. Well, you need to move on to the next thing too. And as a result, rather than focusing on they didn't like me, they rejected me, all that sort of stuff, better to focus on how to improve yourself so that your performance is even better. How to do things more effectively and powerfully to inspire confidence that you're the solution to a need. When all is said and done, at the end of the day, you're going to interview for a certain number of jobs and you're going to get turned down. And what you need to focus on is what you can do to win. You see, winners find the way to win. Losers invariably have excuses for why it happened. They didn't like me. My competition, I'm going to say it bluntly, they're from India. They work for less. They want to hire a slave to work for me. I've heard all sorts of crap out of people's mouths. So again, rather than focusing on the negative, focus on improving yourself. So that's my advice for this show. I have plenty of information on my website, which again is thebiggamehunter.us. So come over to the site and go exploring. I also want to encourage you to subscribe to my e-zine, which is called No BS Job Search Advice. It's published every other week with advice for job hunters to help you find work more quickly. You can also pay what you want for my books and guides to job hunting. Learn what you need to. If you can't afford it, just download it, come back after you find the job and you're getting a check, and you'll see a button that says Flatter, F-L-A-T-T-R. Press the button, make a contribution to the site at that point. I also want to say that if we're not already connected on LinkedIn, send me a connection request. The address is linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. I won't accept requests from third-party recruiters or if you're a country known for scams or spam. If your current firm's trying to hire someone, send me an email at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Let me know who to contact and whether I should mention your name. So this is Jeff Altman. Hope you have a great day. Take care.